while a woman was organizing items in the freezer. The boss, not seeing her, locked the door. Annie panicked instantly, frantically banging on the door for help, but the boss didn't hear a sound. Annie felt her pocket and discovered her phone was left outside. Annie was terrified, but survival instinct forced her to stay calm. She began her self-rescue, using a cart to try to ram open the freezer door. After several failed attempts, in the freezer at around -20 degrees, Annie, in just a short-sleeved shirt, was shivering uncontrollably. Trembling, she glanced at her watch, realizing it was movie theater exit time. This was absolutely the best chance for rescue. Annie grabbed a tray and frantically pounded on the freezer door, but the noise from passersby was too loud, completely drowning out Annie's knocking. 2 hours later, Annie's nose was bleeding from the cold. She realized she would eventually freeze to death at this rate, so she found some tape in the freezer, tore it into small pieces, wrapped her hands and feet trying to keep warm, but it was completely useless. Annie then turned her attention to the cooling fan, trying to block it with cardboard, but it blew away as soon as she attached it. Annie fought against the cold air to stick cardboard on the fan, but lost her balance, fell off the ladder. A nearby shelf toppled down with her. Not only did she fail to block the fan, but her ankle was also injured. Annie broke down crying. Her ankle was dislocated, swollen beyond recognition. Luckily, she had studied nursing before. Fighting through the pain, she placed her foot between two shelves, then twisted hard, successfully resetting the bone. The excruciating pain temporarily immobilized Annie. She had no choice but to rest for a while. Later, Annie wanted to find something to eat, but the freezer only had frozen meat, harder than stone, impossible to eat. Just as she was giving up, she saw a small mouse carrying bread. Annie quickly grabbed the bread, devouring it in large bites, not forgetting to share some with the little mouse. After regaining some strength, Annie removed a metal pipe from the shelf, hoping to stop the cooling fan, but nearly lost her life in the attempt. She had to give up and search for other resources. Annie found a lighter in her backpack and lit some books for warmth. Her body finally got some relief, but before long, smoke filled the entire room. Annie was choking and gasping for air. She had to extinguish the fire and look for other ways to keep warm. Glancing down, she saw an igloo in a magazine. Instantly inspired, she gathered all the cardboard, built a small shelter, finally gaining some protection from the cold. Annie planned to rest a bit, but was frozen awake after less than 10 minutes. By now the little mouse had frozen to death. Annie's arm was stuck to a metal plate. She had to grit her teeth and forcefully lift her arm, enduring the pain while doing a simple bandage. Turning her attention back to the cooling fan, Annie repeatedly smashed the cooling fan with a frozen piece of meat. Through her persistent efforts, she finally managed to stop one blade, but when trying to smash the second blade, she had no strength left. Annie collapsed to the floor exhausted. Just as she was about to freeze to death, the warehouse door opened. It was her father coming to rescue her. He rushed Annie to the hospital for treatment. Annie was saved.